Morning there, DBF family. Welcome back to the DBF garage. As you can probably see, I've got this bay opened wide up. There's a reason for that. So here, probably 6 months ago, I had a local guy here in town give me, I believe it's a 91, 92, right around that era, Suzuki King Quad 300. These things are so weird, they're cool. So it used to run like everything else. It was kind of a barn find. It's been sitting, I would dare say, for probably 10 years. So let's go fire up the tractor, drag this thing around since I'm by myself, and get it pulled in here and see what we got to do. Get a good look at her. I love this old tractor. Maybe we don't want her in high gear. Oh man, this is funny. Who needs a tow truck? Let's dive into this thing and check it out a little bit closer. These are quite the machine. I mean, you know me, I'm kind of into the oddity stuff and weird, different things. You know, I don't know. It's kind of how I am, I guess. But these things are about so different than any other four-wheeler that was on the market at the time that it's just so weird, it's cool. Not only do you shift the gears with your old left foot, check out them legs. Woo! Need some sunshine. Anyhow, not only do you shift it with your foot like a regular old school four-wheeler, but you've got more dang levers and levers and whatnot than an old, A model Kenworth with a 4 and a 5 and a 2-speed manual rear end on it. I mean, it's like kind of excited to see how that works out. Don't know. Never been on one. I mean, this thing's got 1,724 miles on the clock, so that's pretty cool. Hey, look at that. Throttle cable's not locked up, so that's a plus. Let's see what else we got. Now you get down close in here, and I'm pretty sure that's not a factory cooling fan, but kind of like it. I mean, these things are kind of stuffed back in the hole a little bit to not get a whole lot of air flowage, but probably leave that thing on there just because it's cool. Got you a homemade heel toe shifter right here. That's nice. I bet that'll actually be really nice, actually. That's for bank shifting. Yeah, I don't think it'll do that, but it'd be cool if it did, right? Hey, would you look at that? That baby's even got a super winch T100 and 500 and T1500, super winch T1500. That's pretty cool. I mean, that's so you can pull yourself out of a mud hole or your buddies out of a mud hole. The old rear fender's got just a little bit of brittleness going on. I mean, not bad. Got a little hole there. This is one of them deals when someone comes and looks at your four-wheeler, like, yeah, check this thing out. This thing is sweet, man. Doesn't even have any holes or nothing in the fender. Other than that, she's cherry. So I think the first thing I'm going to do to this thing, since I know it's been sitting as long as it has, is do like anybody else would do and just give it a little bit of down the old carburetor in the intake and see if it'll even light off. Should. I mean, like I said, they said it was running till it didn't, so we'll see what she does with a little bit of down the old throat of it. Might work, may not. Does it have to be in a certain neutral? Oh, easy. Sorry, I'm just looking. Well, at least it rolls over. Let's get some see what she does. That's exciting. That old air filter's probably not gonna live very darn long. Yikes. Just disintegrating. Don't touch it. Don't touch it. Yeah. Might gonna have to get one of those on order. Lettering. No way. That thing sounds great. Wonder if it's got any gas in it. I'll be darned. Not a drop of gasoline in it. Let's put some in it and see if she'll just run. Huh, I'll be darned. That ought to be enough, shouldn't it? All right, let's try it again. Oh, be dang. It's gonna run. Well, I know it runs now. Surprises the crap out of me that it actually fired up. I do think the carburetor is probably gummed up-ish, so I think I'm gonna do myself a favor and disassemble this thing, pull the carburetor off of it, and clean it. I'm gonna show you a cool new tool I just got to clean carburetors and other small parts. I'm pretty dang excited about this one. So it kind of looks to me the best course of action to get the carburetor out of this thing is to remove the air box, and in order to get to the two back bolts to remove the air box, I've got to take the rear ax and the rear fenders off this thing. Yeah, this is going to be like one of those peeling an onion to access the parts you need to. I mean, you could probably get in there and wiggle and break things and get it out, but these parts for these things are probably hard enough to find as it is, so let's try doing it the right way. I mean, I don't know. I got nothing but time, right? Right.
Where are you at, you little bugger? Oh, come out of there.
Got it. Ta-da! Yeah, those rear fenders are a little bit on the fragile side. Must be Italian. Now if you look right here, all that is for that fastener right there and that fastener right there to remove the air box, just so we can get the carburetor out. But it gives us a little better look at the motor. These are definitely an interesting setup. They've got to have a really good center of gravity with that motor right there. These are definitely not any Honda I've ever worked on. They're quite different for sure, but you know, it's just nuts and bolts. It ain't nothing organic. It didn't grow out of the ground, so we'll get her figured out eventually. So after about 20 minutes of cussing, you know, and fighting, saying some nasty things that is not exactly family friendly, that's why I didn't film it, I got the airbox out. Ta-da! Yeah. Wow, what a deal to work on these things. I can see why people really kind of dislike these at some to some extent. But hey, look, we got a carburetor. It's right, schmear. So that's gonna be another kind of a pain in the butt to get out, but at least I can see it now. So let's dive in. Got screwdrivers, and I mean, it's not gonna fall out on its own. At least I don't think it is. Maybe it will. Let's see what we can do. I mean, hoses galore, man. This thing reminds me of a early 80s emissioned Nissan pickup or something with all the random hoses, or maybe even the Chryslers, or I don't know. Pretty much anything in the early 80s that was meeting the emission standards. There is vacuum hoses and stuff going everywhere. Come on, baby. Woo! That's some right gas. Sheesh. All right, well, we're getting close-ish, I guess. Stay, you little feller. Ooh. Yeah. She's nasty. She's nasty. Ta-da! Look at that. She's gross, man. Kinda nasty. Let's fix that. All right, guys, so this is gonna be the new tool we're gonna use to start cleaning carburetors here in the DBF garage. So this is a sonic cleaner from Vever Tools. Now, Vever Tools, if you guys have watched the channel for a while, they've been super supportive of the channel, and they've sent me quite a few tools, and I'll tell you what, every one of their tools thus far that they've sent me have been top notch. I really have no complaints about any tool they've sent me. So this one right here is their new 6-liter, like I said, sonic cleaner. And this thing is pretty awesome. I mean, it comes with a little basket to put all your parts in, and comes with a drain hose that you can put on the end of the ball valve, so when you go to, you know, change out your fluid, that it's just that much easier. So what I'm going to use for the cleaning fluid today is this Simple Green Extreme. It's basically aircraft cleaner, and my buddy Troy has used this in his sonic cleaner for many years, and he recommends about the 6-to-1 ratio. So 6 parts water, 1 part sonic cleaning solution. And we're gonna take the carburetor, put it in here at about 140 degrees for about 10 minutes. We'll check it and see how it works. So let's get this thing assembled, get the solution built, and see how it does. I'm pretty excited about this. This is gonna save quite a bit of time in the long run. So thanks again, Vivor. Let's see how it works, shall we? Let's see what she does. That thing's interesting sounds for sure. Well, let's give it 10 minutes, see what she does. All right, let's see how we did. So I went 10 minutes the first round, and then I went another 10 minutes. So gave us about 20 minutes of clean time on this thing. Checked it in between, but it was looking pretty good. Let's check it out. Oh yeah. Dang, that thing works good. Whew, still a little toasty. Look how clean that is. That's awesome. We'll go in and spritz this off with some warm water, and the carburetor's like brand new again. Fantastic. Didn't hurt the rubber, none of the plastic. But man, it sure cleaned it good. Look at that. Look how clean that is. That's great. So if you guys are looking for a sonic cleaner for your home garage, or pretty much for anything. They make these from a 6-liter like this one all the way up to a 22 or 24, I believe. So this size to really big. And right now they have these for sale on Amazon for right around $110. So for me, that's a dang good bang for your buck as far as tools go. So I highly recommend this one for Bever Tools. And if you guys are looking for one, I'll put the link down below and go get one bought. I don't think you'll be sad at all. I'm super happy with it. All right, so I've actually gone ahead and installed this carburetor, and I tried to film it, but it turns out, as many of you know, GoPros suck. Yeah, I don't know what happened. For some reason, it decided to just say, nope, not gonna film it. So, ta-da, carburetor's on. Now, I have gone ahead and I have actually primed, stand by, oh hey, I'm back. I've gone ahead and I've actually primed the bowl on the carburetor, just because the way the fuel system on this works, it's got a pulse pump for a fuel pump that it would have to crank and crank and crank and crank and crank some more to get fuel from the tank actually to the carburetor. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten up this last clamp on the fuel side, if I can get in there. And we'll see if this thing will light. Let's see, let's turn the choke on. Battery charger is on. Oh, we darn, look at that. Thing sounds really healthy. Yeah, I like it. Awesome. We'll get the air box in here and we'll be good to go. Once I get an air filter, I guess. So I've gone ahead and pulled the Suzuki King Quad out. And to be honest with you, I just puttered it down the road and back because I'm still waiting on an air filter and didn't want to take it off road, but that thing's dialed. It's so awesome, I love it. But I pulled it out because I actually have another four-wheeler I'm gonna pull in here that we're gonna use for a different project, but I gotta get it running. So I'm gonna go hook onto my trailer, back it up in here and unload it and see what it's gonna take to get running. This one's pretty cool, I love it. Oh yeah, oh she ain't bad. Four-wheelers are way too heavy for me. That's why I like bikes. But yet, I own them. Go figure. Like I said, when I'm waiting for the air filter for the old King Quad, I figure this is a good time to pull this machine in here. So what this one is this is, I think, a 92 Polaris Express. Yes, Polaris Express 300 two-stroke. So we actually have plans for the power plant and the drivetrain of this four-wheeler. Yes, this four-wheeler looks like it's in better shape, but it's really not. It's pretty rough. But we're gonna get this thing running, and I think we should do a heads up because they're both kind of the same era. Polaris 300 two-stroke, Suzuki 300 four-stroke. What do you guys think? Put down in the comments if you want to see that shootout, and myself and Jed or somebody, we'll go beat the crap out of these things and do some hill climbs and tug of wars, or I don't know. We'll go do something with them. We'll have fun with it. But for now, I'm gonna give this thing a little down the old carburetor and see if it'll even light off. Supposedly it ran. I don't know. Both of them were given to me, so who knows. But you know, that being said, you guys are looking for four-wheelers. If you're willing to put a little bit of work into these things, they're out there. People are just wanting to get rid of them. Like I said, both of these machines were literally both given to me. I hit up the owners and they're like, please come get them out of my yard. I don't know what to do with them. I don't want anything to do with them. Both of them are titled and both of them were registered at some point in the state of Utah. So they're out there. You just got to keep your old peepers open and see if they're out there and have the guts to go beat on the door and be like, hey, what do you want for the old hoopty in the backyard? And usually they'll be like $50 or haul it off. So let's see if we can get this thing fired up. What do you say? I bet this airbox is way easier to get off than that Suzuki was. Any guess? Already got one fastener off of it. I dropped the other one. I'll never see that ever again. That's okay, we don't need it. Hello? Woo-hoo. Nobody's home. Well, at some point, somebody has taken the oil mixture line off of this thing. So, probably should have capped that. Gonna have a vacuum leak there. They didn't do that. So I'll find a piece of hose and go over the end of it, and then we'll give it a and a see if it'll start. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. I don't know. Let's give her a whirl. Ready? 1, 2. Come on, baby. Hey-ya! She wants to go. Okay, I don't want to run it too much without having some two-stroke gas in it, but it runs. That's something. Cool. Wonder if I dump a little premix down the holding cell, if it'll just sit there and run. That'd be great. Let's try it, shall we? Apparently it is not getting fuel. So, we're gonna have to look into that. See what its dealio is. It's got it in the tank and it's not going to the carburetor, so that's the problem. All right. That old girl actually sounds pretty healthy. I mean, for a 300 Polaris two-stroke. I know when I said that, most of you people kind of threw up in your mouth. It's okay. Because it's gonna be a cool power plant for a fun project. Trust me. Obviously, the carburetor is plugged up too because it won't run without the choke on it. So you pull the choke on and it'll sit there and idle, rev up and run. Not great, but it runs pretty good. So what that tells me is the idle circuit or the idle passage in the carburetor itself is plugged up. So what I'm gonna do, pull the carburetor off, set it in the old turkey cooker looking sonic cleaner that we just got from Vever, and rebuild the carburetor, slap it back on, and I bet this thing runs primo. And while I'm doing that, I think I'll actually find a starter motor for this thing, because this pulling it, it's, yeah, screw that. Too old for that crap. It's gonna be fun.
That little clamp is way back there.
Come on, you little devil. Oh. I can tell you one thing. Polaris 300 two-stroke is leaps and bounds easier to get the carburetor off of than a 92 Suzuki King Quad. 5 minutes. She's out. Polaris is looking better and better. So as I expected, the jet that goes down in here, this little feller, it was pretty much plug tight, so it wasn't gonna idle very well, if at all. And then the other thing that I found is this little brass fitting right here had actually popped out of the carburetor, and that's where the oil injection goes down the inside of the carburetor here, which mixes the oil and the fuel together for the two-stroke side of it. So had a major vacuum leak right there, and with the combination of the pilot jet being plugged, yeah, this thing was never gonna run 100% or correctly. So got her all tore apart. Let's put it in the old sonic cleaner and see what it looks like. Well, howdy there, guys. So a couple days later, I'm back on the old Polaris Explorer 300. Ta-da! And after a good, solid, thorough cleaning of the carburetor and getting it installed back inside the machine itself, let's see if this thing will fire up and run and idle and do, you know, four-wheeler things. Yeah. Still waiting on the air filter and a few parts from Rocky Mountain for the Suzuki, but I think this one should be just about ready to go take for just a short little burn on this thing. So let's get the airbox put together on this thing, see if she'll rip. So this is why we do test drives, initial test drives, pretty close to the house. Pretty sure I just ran out of gas. Yeah. I'm not very smart. Turns out these things like to have fuel in order to make a fire in the motor. Yeah. So there she sits, all pretty and pretty much out of gas, I believe. Hopefully that's a problem. I'm guessing it is. I'm guessing that's a problem, but I don't know. We'll walk the, just cross the street here and get a splash of fuel. See if that helps. Fingers crossed. Old Polarises. I'm getting reminded why they kind of had a bad rap. Yeah. Whew, out of breath. So, it's sitting across the street. So we made it about 200 yards after I got it started. I believe we got a fuel delivery issue. I think it's feeding fuel to the carburetor just for a minute and then it's shutting off. So something's not right. So hopefully if I let it sit a minute, she'll fire right up and drive the extra, 200 feet home. Trying to be nice to it. I don't know what's wrong with a piece of junk. I know. Put the hate Polaris comments down in there. I know. I'm kind of with you sometimes, but free's free. I guess I'll go drag it home with the Suzuki. See if I can do it by myself. I don't know. I don't gotta go very far, but I don't know. We'll see if it'll work, I guess. Well, what do you know? The GoPro took a crap again. I don't know. I'm about tired of these I'm about tired of these GoPro cameras. They're kind of junk, you know what I mean? Anyhow, got the old Polaris back here. I had to drag her back with the old trusty Suzuki King Quad. Now, I hope this isn't an indicator of how this Polaris is going to be, but they do have a pretty bad reputation. So, I'm a Polaris guy as far as snowmobiles go, but four-wheelers and the two-strokes, I don't know. They don't have a lot going for them, but I don't know. What's your guys' thoughts? Polaris two-stroke? Suzuki King Quad. What's your thoughts? Which one's better? Should we do a shootout between the two once I get the Polaris up and going and settle the score once and for all? You guys put it down in the comments. I'd like to know. So, till next time, see y'all later.